Welcome back to the XNO Sports Show. This is your host, Ricky Stanley. And good morning. It's about 4:57 Eastern Standard Time. We had a little technical difficulty this week with a schedule conflict. We actually were going to have some guests on the show. But granted, the show must go on, and we will reschedule them on another episode. So we're going to talk about the legend, the man, Drew Brees. Drew Brees has officially retired. Can't say I'm surprised. Drew Brees actually had a great career. Looks like it's called the quits. Should he? Yes, he should have. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. He should have called the quits. He had a great career, 20 years. He breathed life right back into New Orleans. He came in the organization right about the year of Hurricane Katrina. The city didn't have really much to play for. He was coming off a shoulder injury, so they kind of like gave up on him. They was like, okay, let's see what he does. And, turn that franchise around. I remember it's a guy, he's a little older than me. I want to say his first name was Curtis, last name Deloach. He ended up playing for the New Orleans Saints, came out of my high school. So he should be late 30s right now. But he played for New Orleans that year. I never forget, they played against the Falcons. I'm in my room, I'm watching, and they go for a punt. The Falcons 3 and out, they go for a punt. And Curtis Deloach actually runs, blocks the punt, picks it up, scores, and dunks the goalpost. So if anybody is from the Hosky or Murfreesboro area, if you ever go into the barbershop around there, they still have that picture up in him of the barbershop. So, hey, shout out to Curtis Deloach. You're on that team. Brought by life to New Orleans. But as for Drew Brees, I feel like he was undersized and over-delivered. The prototypical quarterback for everybody, they want him 6'4", broad shoulders, big hands. We all call him in all shapes and sizes. Me and Drew Brees about the same height. He's probably about on the 230 range after, later on in his career, he got to bulk up to take some of those hits. But one of the reasons why I feel like he should have walked away is the last 2 seasons, he has not played the whole season. 2 seasons ago, he broke his thumb, if I'm not mistaken. Broke his thumb, and he had to miss a couple games. And, everybody knows it's not a secret. His arm strength is not what it used to be. So this year, he takes a solid hit, 310-pounder falls on top of him. Breaks almost every rib he has. Man, a man under 6'4", like myself, I'm 6'2" with shoes. You take a hit like that, man, you're only, 225, 230 from that kind of man. Yeah, you're lucky to actually get up. And, when you're 41, 42 years old, you're not going to heal up like you were when you were 35, 29. You're not going to heal up like you used to. So I'm glad he can actually walk away as the all-time passing leader right now. And I want to say he's still the all-time touchdown leader, and I guess Tom could pass him this year. He had a great career, over 80,000 passing yards. I want to say, let me pull up my notes. Drew Brees had over 571 touchdowns. I want to be exact. That's why I wrote it down. 243 interceptions. Leads the NFL in most 300-yard passing games, 123. It's a lot of games with over 300 passing yards. And we weren't talking about check down like some of these other quarterbacks. Led the NFL in 400-yard games. He had 16 of them. Most games with 4+ touchdowns. He had 37 games with 4 or more touchdowns. Most games with 3 or more, 97 games. 97 games. That's a lot of football. I remember Drew Brees actually took a $100 million contract. And I always use him as an example because when you take that type of money as a quarterback or at any position, you know that the rest of your team may be decimated. He took the money. 2 years in a row, he went 7-9. But he also put up 38 points a game. They weren't losing because of him. However, they didn't have money to stretch across the defense. So he had to put up a lot of points to stay in the games. I feel like Drew Brees was cut from a different cloth. Probably had little man syndrome. He had a lot to prove. But I think that he gave everything he had out there. But I was very disappointed in his last game. I felt like as an offensive coordinator, he can't get the ball down the field like he used to. I mean, I don't think it's an arm strength thing 100%, especially when you're fresh. But I felt like he didn't have the time to. Tampa defense was going to get after him. So it was getting the ball out quick, a lot of hitch routes, comeback routes. But sometimes when you're playing against a defense that is pretty talented, they're going to give you that. And they found out that's the only thing you can do. They're going to start jumping those routes. Those underneath routes, those guys can play man-to-man. They can run underneath it. Me personally, if I'm calling the plays for Drew Brees, I'm going to be like, hey, we got a script. We're going to have a balanced run game to keep them honest. We're going to go play action. We're going to have some quick game. But if all else fails and you have to beat Tom Brady, you will go down swinging if this is your last game. I'm calling 7-man protections to get the ball down the field. 7-man, you don't have that many men going down the route, but he will have time to get it down the field. I know he don't have the cannon like some quarterbacks, but he can still get it down the field. He just needs time. So I'm running deep overs. I'm running flood routes. I'm running high-low concepts. I'm getting the ball down the field in chunk plays, especially if we get down. They didn't call that for him. I was very disappointed. He threw a couple picks at the end. It was kind of like, desperation throws. But I'd rather see you go down swinging as a gunslinger than play timid the way they did. It was kind of like they had a script. They didn't really go away from it. And they got the handed to them. So I was very disappointed in the offense coordinator. That's my guy, and he throws 4 picks because I call plays for him to get it down the field when we're down. Hey, we went down swinging. But I guess I've always been a fan of Drew Brees on and off the field. I mean, he had that one hiccup with, a comment he shouldn't have made, but, he learned. But, he's the father of, I think 3 boys, married. He brings a lot of pride to New Orleans, and I think he had an illustrious NBC career as an analyst. But I'm glad that he is walking away upright. And, good luck, Drew Brees. But, unfortunately, I was hoping that he was going to win at least one more Super Bowl in his career. Because I always had this thing that I said, hey, if he gets one more Super Bowl and he's an all-time passing leader at the end of the game, at the end of his career, could he be in the GOAT conversation? Could he be in the greatest of all time? But the fact that he only had one and he didn't beat Tom head-to-head when it counted this year. You beat him in the regular season, but it only counts in the postseason. The regular season games get you a good seeding, I guess. But when it counted, he didn't beat him. So, I don't think he's no longer in that conversation. I still think he would be listed as a top 5 quarterback of all time. But, at the end, I think if Tom wins another one, it's going to be Tom, Joe, Peyton, Elway, and then Brees. That's my 5 of all time. Some people like Dan Marino. He didn't get a ring. Great quarterback, but he's not my top 5. So that's what I have. As for the GOAT conversation, yeah, I hate to give it to him, but I think Tom's going to take it. 7 rings, 20 years. Nobody's really done that. Even Jordan only had 6. So, Saints, what's next for you? You guys saw my guy Jameis Winston back for a 1-year deal, $12 million. I really like that. A lot of people give him a lot of grief about having that 30 for 30. But if you go back and roll that beautiful billing footage back, you'll see a couple of those interceptions were actually tips or the receiver just ran the wrong route. Yes, he did get recorded for those interceptions. And his last pass was a pick 6. But so was Tom Brady's of the same season. He had a pick 6 against the Tennessee Titans. Took it to the crib in his season. But I think Jameis is under Sean Payton, a very good offensive-minded coach. Also, Jameis Winston could get the ball down the field a lot better. With those weapons, that defense in the second year in that system, I think he has a better chance of making the playoffs than Cam Newton for the Patriots. But that's just my personal opinion. But we're going to see. That's why games have to be played, not on paper, on the field. but I think A lot of people give James a whole lot of grief for that 30 for 30, but hey, James, I'm in your corner, man. Don't let me down. But moving on to a little bit of basketball. I saw this in the tabloids. I saw it on ESPN, and I was kind of disappointed. But, they had to have something to write about. They said by Joel Embiid, unfortunately, he had that knee injury. Is James Harden now in the MVP race? So what is my take on it? No, I don't think he should. I think he's having a good season. I think James has been an exceptional player. Let's get that out of the way. He's been a very exceptional player. Hands down, he's a walking 30-point-a-night guy. But I was very disappointed with the Rockets when he played for them. There were 2 nights that I just felt like he didn't want to be there. 15 points by James Harden. He can get 15 points alone off of threes. He had 15 points a couple times. One game he didn't play, and according to speculation, he wasn't injured. He said he wanted to be there. I understand. Like, oh, well, he didn't want to play. He didn't want to be in Houston. You got to respect that, man. Do I? James Harden, you play basketball for a whole lot of money. You're very good at what you do. And I think if you didn't want to be in Houston and they didn't trade you and you didn't want to be there, UPS and the post office is hiring every day. Take your pick, because athletes get into this thing. I don't want to play. Fans pay a lot of hard-earned money, and all of them aren't rich to watch you play. I think you should play. But no, I don't think he should get MVP. Get back on track? No, I don't think he should. If he plays defense like he did against the Boston Celtics a week ago, and he does all of that next year and does what James Harden can do, hands down, I think he'd be the next unanimous MVP. But this year, I don't even think he should be in the conversation. You can't play when you want to and still win the MVP. I'm just saying. But on to other basketball news. Let's look at the standings. My Lakers are still finding a way to win without Anthony Davis. So Anthony Davis, get healed up. I will be looking forward to him coming back into the lineup slowly. I don't think he would need to rush back because we're finding ways to win without him. And he is still needed because, against the bigger teams, because we'll get blasted by guys that have very strong power forwards. Sometimes we don't have rim protection, so we got to go offensively a whole lot on nights. If not, we'll get smoked. Right now, it looks like Utah is still winning the West. 29 wins, 10 losses. Phoenix is number 2, 26 wins, 12 losses. And my Lakers are 27-13. So we're 1 game behind second place without Anthony Davis. We're 2.5 games behind the Jazz. And I don't think the Jazz will beat us in the same 7-game series. So, that's just my personal opinion. Shout out to the Jazz for doing a good job this year. But we're taking this thing again this year. Philadelphia is running the East. 28-12. Doc Rivers came over there and turned them around. They're actually pretty respectable this year. If only they can get Ben Simmons to shoot a 3. It'd be deadly. The Brooklyn Nets are number 2, 27 wins, 13 losses. Milwaukee is 25-14. So that's pretty tight over there. 1 game or 1 series I would love to see. And this is, everybody want Brooklyn versus the Lakers to play. But I would not mind seeing the LA Lakers versus the Boston Celtics in the finals. Everybody knows about, you got the Larry Bird, the Magic Johnson, all those series. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but if I am wrong, make sure you put in the comments if I am. I want to say the titles are tied at 17 apiece. I would like to see the tiebreaker against each other. So Celtics, get your stuff in gear, because right now you look like you're in 6th place. As long as you get to the playoffs, it doesn't matter, but you're going to have to turn it up, because I think my boys are coming out of the West. Donovan, you're playing good, but I don't think you're ready for us this year. Also, we have March Madness coming up. Get your brackets out, because if I'm not mistaken, today is what is today? Today is 17th. I think we got 1 more day, I think, to officially get those brackets out. Or if not today, it may be starting. Who do you have winning it all? I have not watched a lot of college basketball this year just because of so much with the NBA being offset, the NFL up and down, COVID. So normally I'm a diehard Miami Hurricanes fan, but we're not doing anything in basketball this year. So I'd be lucky if we get placed in the 64 seed. But if we don't, I'll just watch whoever. But who do you have winning? Be sure to comment below. Who do you have winning? And please don't say Dukies. I know y'all Duke fans or diehard fans, but no, not this year. Oh, we have a blockbuster deal. I personally would like to see this. Boxing. Everybody remembers the bad man himself, Tyson Fury. I am a Wilder fan. He is the knockout artist, the knockout king, and unfortunately he got knocked out. But before he got knocked out, he knocked out a lot of people first. One person I wanted to see him knock out was Anthony Joshua. Unfortunately, we didn't get that because they was crying about the side A, side B. But Anthony Joshua is taking a 2-fight deal with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, I don't think he can fight Anthony Joshua the way he fought Wilder. I think Anthony Joshua is the better boxer. But if you take Tyson Fury too lightly, he is very skilled to be that big. He will knock you out. And, he got some head emotion. I've been watching this game. I think he may drop weight for this fight just because of Joshua's style. But it's going to be very interesting. I will be paying for that pay-per-view. But if anybody want to go half on me, let me know. But it'd be great for the heavyweights. I do want to see that happen because I have not heard anything from Wilder positive towards coming back. He's 35 years old. Not getting any younger. I need at least one fight with Anthony Joshua before you call the quits. But, we'll see. I remember when Fury fought Wilder the first time. And if you watch Wilder, he has what I call a shotgun blast. He'll jab, jab, jab to see how far you're from. I mean, he's not really jabbing for points or keeping you away. He's measuring how far you are. And he hits you with that shotgun blast on the chin. I've seen almost everybody drop from that shotgun blast on the chin. Once he sized you up, I've seen fights that he were in bad shape, like he's going to lose this fight. And he lays it on them and he puts them down. Takes their soul. I mean, I'm just like, geez. You go back, check out the highlights. He put that same blast on Fury's chin, drops him. That man rose up like the Undertaker, scared the daylight. I've never seen a human get up from a blast like that. I knew then that Wilder should not took the rematch. I'm like, you know what? Hey, fake an injury, do what you got to do. Do not take. That's a bad man right there. And the next fight, he put paws on Wilder. Good Lord. Still having nightmares about it now. Glad I ain't putting no money on it. But, yeah, it was bad. Whew. But, fortunately, hey, my guy fell victim. But Anthony Joshua, you better have that chin tucked because Tyson Fury is coming. But I want to say when it comes to boxing, the little guys are really putting in a lot of work. Triple G, a fan of him. I watched him a lot. Canelo Alvarez, I watch him a lot. I think he just won 2 fights this year. Or he did one at the end of last year and one this year. But I don't think nobody's really going to beat Canelo in his weight class. So somebody's going to either have to drop weight or go up weight to fight him. And I want to say the one fight he did lose was against Floyd, and Floyd is not going to fight him. Not in this size, no. I feel like Canelo, best chance of losing was against Triple G. But, that's just my 2 cents. Keep the change. But my Lakers took care of Golden State the other night. I want to put a star by that. Because you Golden State fans, hey, I'm a big Curry fan. But when it comes to my Lakers, no pun intended, we're leaving gunshot wounds on the Warriors. Blew them out, by the way. But this is my time tonight or this morning. And I hope you guys are having a great morning. You got something to listen to. And this is the X and O Sports Show. This is episode 8. Ricky G. Stanley. And we are out of here.